When you start looking at a 36-inch electric range, the first thing that worries most people is whether they are really getting more than just a bigger slab of metal. Will the extra width actually translate into better cooking flexibility, or will it just sit there taking up space and stealing a few precious inches of countertop? That's the question I heard a lot from friends who have already upgraded, and the answer hinges on everyday use, not on a glossy spec sheet. If you're on the fence about the FORNO Paolo 36-inch electric range, I'm going to walk through the real-world pros and cons so you can decide if it's a fit for your kitchen routine. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the cooking surface. The Paolo 6-element ceramic cooktop is marketed as radiant, which basically means the heating elements sit beneath a smooth glass surface rather than protruding like traditional coil burners. In practice, that design does a decent job of spreading heat evenly across the bottom of pots and pans. I tested a standard 2-quart saucepan of water on the middle element and watched it go from cold to a rolling boil in about 3 minutes, which is comparable to many mid-range electric ranges. The real advantage shows up when you're juggling multiple dishes. Because the cooktop has 6 distinct zones, you can run a simmering sauce on one low-heat element, keep a pot of pasta boiling on another, and finish a quick stir-fry on a higher output zone, all without the elements fighting for power. That kind of multitasking flexibility is what kitchen-savvy families value most. Now, the warming zone and broiler versatility are built into the same top surface. The lower right sections double as warming areas, which can hold plates at a gentle 150 F after a roast comes out of the oven. I found that useful when serving a family-style Sunday dinner. I could pull the turkey from the oven, carve it, and then let the sides stay warm without needing a separate warming drawer. The broiler, on the other hand, sits on the far left and reaches temperatures above 500 F, making it possible to crisp a cheese-topped pepperoni pizza, or give a quick finish to a gratin. The only thing to note is that the broiler's position is a bit farther from the main cooking zones, so you have to swing a pot or pan across the surface if you want to finish something under the broiler right after stovetop cooking. It's a small inconvenience, but it can feel awkward if you're used to a more compact layout. Turning to the oven, the True Convection label isn't just marketing hype. The unit uses a fan and a rear heating element to circulate hot air, which cuts down cooking times by roughly 20% compared to a conventional electric oven. I ran a batch of chocolate chip cookies at 350 F and compared the results to a standard oven. The cookies baked a minute and a half faster, turned golden brown, and spread just as evenly. That translates into real time saved, especially when you're running a busy household or trying to fit a dinner prep into a tight schedule. The convection fan is quiet, no whining or rattling that can be distracting in an open-plan kitchen. Self-cleaning is another area where the Paolo tries to make life easier. The EasyToClean claim rests on a 2-stage process. A high-heat pyrolytic cycle that turns food residue to ash, followed by a quick wipe-down. After a heavy pizza night, the interior of the oven was covered in burnt cheese and crust. I ran the self-clean cycle for 2 hours, and when it finished the walls were just a light grey ash that could be brushed away with a damp cloth. The downside is the high energy consumption of that cycle. You're essentially heating the entire oven to 900 F, which bumps up your electricity bill for that hour. If you're very conscious about energy use, you may prefer a manual cleanup instead. The exterior finishes white enamel with antique brass knobs and handles give the unit a classic look that can blend into a range of decor styles, from modern farmhouse to more traditional kitchens. The stainless steel interior of the oven is resistant to rust, a point that matters if you frequently cook acidic dishes like tomato sauces. However, the white enamel can show fingerprints and smudges fairly quickly, especially around the control panel. A quick wipe with a damp cloth restores the shine, but it does mean a bit more daily maintenance if you have kids or a busy household. Who should buy the FORNO Paolo? If you have a family that cooks multiple dishes at once, value the convenience of a built-in warming zone, and want the time-saving boost of True Convection, this range is a solid fit. It also appeals to homeowners who are updating a dated kitchen and need a unit that feels larger without stepping up to a professional-grade commercial range. The 5.44 cuffed oven gives plenty of space for big roasts, sheet pans, or even a couple of dishes simultaneously, so entertaining hosts will appreciate that volume. On the flip side, if you live in a small